And it's down the road we go on this Tuesday, 21st day of January, 2020. I'm Dan Kuntz. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Live channel. It's snowing lightly outside of our studios. We're at 30 degrees. The snow should switch over to rain a little bit later on this morning, and a fairly mild and damp weather forecast is coming your way, although it's snowing pretty good in the mountain passes. We'll give you those two very important updates. Your weather forecast and your pass report is usually the first thing right out of the box after we tour around the Wenatchee Valley. We have a newscast to send your way. Also, sports, including the results of the Wenatchee Valley College men's and ladies basketball teams. Plus, we'll preview the prep schedule for today. And we'll preview the Baseball Hall of Fame announcement, which will come at 3 o'clock this afternoon. One of my favorite days of the year. Who's going to make Cooperstown? We'll find out a little bit later on today. We'll preview that when we get to sports. Plus, we have the Obscura Holiday. We got some celebrity birthdays today in history. Mike McNally's got an opinion coming your way. And our friends at Confluence Health with their monthly visit, Stuart Utley. Dropped by last week. We taped a very fascinating segment. Stuart is a physical therapist at Confluence Health. He works in the outpatient clinic. He's not the kind of guy you want to see because, well, you get hurt or you have an operation or whatever, and then you go into physical therapy, and Stuart's the guy to get you through that. He's a really good guy. Talking about slipping and falling. It's that time of the year where people have a tendency to lose their balance in slick conditions and fall down and go boom. We'll let you know how you can avoid doing that, and you want to avoid doing that. Trust me. It is a couple minutes after the hour. Megan is pushing the buttons. Let's go around the valley with our Valley View cameras, whatever's available to us on this on this day. I'm assuming that's the cross cam, and I can tell it's the cross cam. If you look in the lower left-hand corner, you can see that little bump at Wenatchee Heights. That's right in front of the cross camera. That's just a beautiful view, isn't it? Yeah, that is what it is from that elevation and from that angle. It started snowing about 6 o'clock this morning. It's not going to last very long. We're not expecting any kind of accumulation. Roadways are fine. By the way, if the roadways are already clear of snow, the snow's hitting the asphalt or the cement and it's just dissipating, so we're doing okay. And again, it's going to warm up and switch over to rain here in the lowlands, but a little bit of moderate snow accumulations in the mountains expected today. Camera 2, we are off to see the Wizard. No, we're off to see, that looks like Badger Mountain to me, or is that Union Valley? That's Monument, so we're out to Quincy. I missed both of those. That big gray spot in the middle I thought was a body of water. It shows you what I know. Good morning to our friends in Quincy. Good to have you on board. Of course, Monument Hill is where Steve and Lynette have their summer vacation cabin. It's a fixer-upper, Monument Hill, and overlooking the beautiful area of Quincy. Camera number 3. Let's see what's visible out there today. Well, that's a pretty cool shot of Omi Gardens. I take it that is Omi Gardens, Megan? Yeah, it's the Omi Gardens camera. You can see a little bit more of the outcropping there at Omi Gardens. Fascinating picture over the weekend on a Facebook post from our friends at Omi Gardens. They had about, I don't know, it was half a dozen at least, if not more, bighorn sheep hanging around Omi Gardens. This would be the time of year to do it because Omi Gardens is closed, but the fences don't mean anything to those guys. They just walk right around the parking barrier and do what they want to do. So there's a big family of bighorn sheep hanging around. What is a gathering of bighorn sheep? I don't know. Oh, thank you. According to Megan, it's a flock. Camera number 4. She knows about these things better than I do. We say good morning to, I'm looking, I'm studying, I see the light snow, I see highways, and I give up. Oh, that's McNeil Canyon. That's McNeil Canyon, the north camera of McNeil Canyon. We have a couple of them up there. It's snowing lightly up in McNeil Canyon. Again, the snow that we're getting today is not expected to stick around. It'll be, starts out with a little bit of snow. It's going to be a rain-snow mix, and then it switches over to a little bit of rain. We're in for some very mild temperatures, as a matter of fact, as we get deeper and deeper into this week. As far as snowfall today, not a lot here. Cascades, yeah, going to get hammered again. In fact, for the mountain passes, there is a winter weather advisory that's up and running. It goes until 4 o'clock tomorrow. They're expecting anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of snow today and some more snow, another 3 to 5 inches of tonight. So there's your snow totals. Take a look at where you live. Again, in the Wenatchee Valley, less than an inch of snow total as the system passes through, and it should switch over to rain. A little bit more snow up in the Omak, Okanagan area, but once again, the Cascades are going to get quite a bit of snow. It's funny, they were way behind on the snowpack, and they had a very dry, abnormally dry beginning to the winter season. The ski and snow resorts at the summit of Snoqualmie were behind getting open, and now they got more snow than they know what to deal with. It's funny how that works out. So there's your snow totals for today and tonight. mostly, of course, in the Cascades, not so much down here in the Wenatchee Valley. So it's 6 minutes after the hour with 30 degrees and light snow. From Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, they give your home a hug. There's your forecast from the National Weather Service. Chance of precipitation today, 100%. For the record, by the way, sunrise this morning will happen at 7:39, sunset tonight at 4:45. 9 hours and 6 minutes of daylight. And yesterday, Monday, was a very normal day. We hit 37 for the afternoon high. That was spot on. That's what the National Weather Service was expecting. Our normal high would be 35. Our low yesterday was 29. Our normal was 20. Normal would be about 25. So pretty typical. January 20th, and we're going to do it again today. So again, mostly rain-snow mix, and then it switches over to a chance of rain later on today. The snow level is going to go up to 2,300 feet by the afternoon. We'll top off at about 36 degrees. Chance of rain and snow tonight as the snow level drops down to 1,500 feet, but this system's going to kind of peter out, so we're not expecting any snow accumulation tonight. This chance of rain-snow mix goes from 100% today to just 30% tonight. Wednesday looks pretty darn rainy for the most part. Most of it will be late in the afternoon. In fact, right around sunset, it's going to start raining on Wednesday, and it's not going to get below freezing, it looks like, Wednesday night. So we're looking at rain. The snow level is going to be 2,200 feet Wednesday. It's going to go up to 4,200 feet on Wednesday night as some warm air comes in. So we're actually going to get considerably warmer by Thursday. Look at that, a high right around 40 with a good chance of rain. Good chance of rain Thursday night. Overnight low of 36. Good chance of rain on Friday. 45 for the afternoon high. 43 with a little bit of rain on Saturday. We dry out on Sunday and Monday. Absolutely no sunshine at all in the forecast through the forecast period, as you can see. And as I mentioned before, it is snowing lightly outside of our studios with some overcast skies, but that is going to switch over to rain later on this afternoon. It's going to be just a little too warm to snow, and then it's going to be pretty much rain when we talk about precipitation for the rest of the week, with the exception of the mountain passes. They are going to get some snow. In fact, let's go ahead and take you up. That's a live shot of I-90 right now. Doesn't look too bad. There is a traction tire advisory on Snoqualmie Pass. There's some snow and some slush on the roadway, and the traction tire advisory is only for a small little section of I-90, pretty much right at the summit. So traction tires are advised. It's snowing, kind of gloppy up there, but again, with some snow and slush on the roadway, the Washington State Patrol has posted a traction tire advisory, and they are the ones who make the call. The troopers drive over the pass and they decide what kind of traction tires you need. Live shot of Stevens at this hour. They have a traction tire advisory. They have some snow on the roadway. It is snowing on Stevens Pass. It's going to snow most of the day there. Your forecast details for the passes are coming up next. And the Blue Pass is covered in snow at this hour, but there are no advisories or restrictions according to the DOT and what I have on their site right now, even though it looks like you would want to have traction tires as you look at Blue Pass. But no, there's no advisories or restrictions on Blewett, but there is a traction tire advisory on Stevens and a traction tire advisory on Snoqualmie Pass, I-90. They have a winter weather advisory. It's up and running. It will go until 4 o'clock tomorrow. Daytime snow accumulations for the Cascades, 3 to 5 inches, and then an additional 4 to 8 inches of snow tonight. For Wednesday, 3 to 7 inches of snow. Wednesday night, 3 to 7 inches of snow. And then rain is expected on Thursday night, and then back to snow on Friday. So as this warm air comes in, it's going to warm us way up on Wednesday night, Thursday, and Thursday night. That's also going to affect the major mountain passes. Precipitation will come down in the form of rain in the Cascades on Thursday and Thursday night before it switches over to snow. But they're expecting quite a bit of snow today, quite a bit of snow tonight, and another blast of snow on Wednesday. So that's your weather forecast. That's your past report. We're going to take a break and fill your head full of the information you need to start your Tuesday. The news is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I am a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
The two hottest pickups in America are at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. First, the Ram 1500 with back-to-back Truck of the Year awards from Motor Trend, and now the Car and Driver 10 Best list for 2020. They call it a luxury sedan with pickup capabilities. Ram is on a roll now with third-generation EcoDiesel power. Next up, the Jeep Gladiator, also a 2020 10 Best model based on the new award-winning Jeep Wrangler. It has options and capabilities that no other truck can offer. Two more reasons when it comes to buying a truck: there's no reason to leave town.
We're back just about 11 minutes after the hour, 30 degrees, misty, cloudy, and some light snow coming down outside of our studios. By early afternoon, it'll switch over to rain. We're looking for some rain for the rest of the evening, and then a very mild and rainy weather forecast for the rest of the week, but some significant snowfall in the upper elevations and in the mountain passes. Here's what's making headlines. Salt Lake police were involved in a vehicle pursuit on Sunday morning that ended when the driver jumped out of the moving car and then fled, and he left the passenger and the car still moving behind. Our very own Kyle Montgomery tells us more.
Shortly after 9 a.m., two Moses Lake police officers spotted a black Mercedes with no license plates that had been reported earlier in the evening. The driver led the officers on a short chase before he bailed out, and the Mercedes continued on, narrowly missing trees before it came to a stop, and the passenger, Tony Gonzalez of Soap Lake, was arrested. Attempts to locate the driver were unsuccessful until the Grant County Sheriff's Office brought in K9 Chica. The police dog found 27-year-old Urban Martinez Santa Cruz of Moses Lake about a half-mile away, hiding under a motorhome. Santa Cruz was already acquainted with Grant County K9s, having been apprehended in November by Chewbacca, who climbed on top of a car, locked onto his arm, and pulled him to the ground. Santa Cruz was arrested on numerous charges, including a felony warrant, eluding, and obstructing justice. His passenger Gonzalez also was arrested on a felony warrant. Reporting with NCW Life, I'm Kyle Montgomery.
Thank you, Kyle, for that report. A pair of suspected burglars near Moses Lake led Grant County Sheriff's deputies on a high-speed car chase early on Saturday. There's our friend Chewbacca. 34-year-old Ryan David Lee Hughes of Moses Lake and 56-year-old Billy Ray Rogers of Olympia eventually were tracked down by, yep, you guessed it, K9 Chewbacca. It started with a burglar alarm at United Rentals. That's on North Frontage Road. The alarm went off about 3:20 in the morning. A vehicle seen leaving the scene was chased at speeds in excess of 70 miles an hour before their car got stuck in a ditch at Roads 4 and L Northeast. Corporal Nick Overland and Chewbacca tracked the man about 2 miles before they found Hughes hiding in a parked vehicle. After he was arrested, Chewbacca went looking for Rogers, found him hiding in bushes about a half a mile away. The K9 held Rogers by the arm until deputies arrived. The men faced charges of burglary, attempted theft of a motor vehicle, resisting arrest, and obstructing a law enforcement officer. A Spokane driver who was pulled over in Douglas County faces multiple charges after allegedly struggling with a state trooper. 39-year-old Daniel Dean Walker was arrested Friday after a traffic stop on Highway 28 near milepost 8. Police say he resisted arrest and had to be wrestled to the ground by Trooper Brayson Hires. Other troopers and sheriff's deputies responded to help out, as well as passing motorists. Neither man was seriously injured. Walker was allegedly driving his 1994 Ford Explorer on a suspended license. He's likely to be charged with DUI and third-degree assault. Well, the gun control debate heats up in Olympia this week. On Monday, a state Senate committee considered limits on high-capacity magazines that have been requested by Governor Jay Inslee and Attorney General Bob Ferguson. Gun control advocates claim magazines are frequently used in mass shootings and really aren't needed for self-defense, but Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett contends the facts don't support that argument.
People are saying, is this really a public safety issue or is it a gun grab? And I'll let you be that deciding factor. I have my own personal opinions, but we try to look at it from my position is how does that affect public safety? And I know there's a lot of talk out there, especially on the magazine bans on high capacity, and has that had an impact on our deadly shootings? And the studies that I'm hearing and receiving is saying, no, it's not. And so if people can show me that that's really making an impact in a positive way, then I think you could say they have somewhat of an argument. But again, is that very rare cases and such? Again, it's not the firearm or the piece of equipment that is actually the reason for that incident and people loss of life. It's actually the mental state and the act that that person is taking under themselves.
Now, a companion bill that would also ban so-called assault weapons is set to be heard in the House today. Sheriff Burnett appeared in a recent In Focus interview with our special news correspondent, Steve Hare. You can see that entire interview by going to our website at ncwlife.com, or you can see it tomorrow. The interview will air in its entirety tomorrow on this program. And finally, on this Tuesday morning, today, the North Central Educational Services District is inviting the public to check out their newly remodeled offices. It's an open house. It'll be from 4 to 7 p.m. on their campus at 430 Old Station Road. Dr. Michelle Price, who's the superintendent of the NCESD, appeared on this very program yesterday to talk about why the remodel was needed and how the NCESD paid for the $1.2 million project.
So we did a renovation with 3 goals. The first was to be able to use our space more efficiently for our staff and for our purposes, to really make a match there. Second was to bring all of our staff together under one roof.
And I did not know that. I have always thought you guys were all under the same roof of that iconic building out in Old Station, but that wasn't the case.
No, that's not been the case. For about the last 6 years, we have, maybe 7 years, we've had staff that we were renting space at the Cordell Nair building to have housed there. So we've been able to bring them back in, which also then has reduced our cost and our need for rental space, both for office space as well as training space. We'll be able to do all of our training in-house now. So the remodel came from a loan.
Okay.
We did unvoted debt. We and took out a loan in order to pay for it. All of our ESDs funded by our school districts. We're 4% funded by the state, and so it's a fee for service to our school districts, and that's what keeps the educational service districts' doors open. So we did this with no additional cost to our districts because literally it's expenditure neutral. Our rental payments equal our current payment on this loan. So it's expenditure neutral to get us all fixed up and more user-friendly.
And once again, that open house is from 4 to 7 today at their building in Old Station. Now you're in the loop on this Tuesday morning at 17 minutes after the hour. We have a newscast coming your way again tonight. Grant Olson is the anchor, and here's a preview.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, more snow is upon us. How much will we get and how long will it last? I'll let you know coming up in your North Central Washington weather forecast. And Eric Granstrom will be in with a look at the day's sports action. That, all the day's news and more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. We appreciate it. I watch the news every night. You can too. Again, at 5, 6, and 10. I prefer to watch my news on my smart device. I have a smart TV. I have a TV that's smarter than I am. Now that's downright dangerous. So you can watch the news via our website. Just log on to ncwlife.com. Right about 5 o'clock, the news will be ready for you to check out, so you can watch it anytime you want. We also have our newscasts archived. In fact, we have all of our locally produced programs archived for you to watch whenever you darn well please. And at the bottom of your screen are all the different ways you can get a hold of us. You can drop us a line via our Facebook page. Be sure to give us a big old like while you're there. And then use Facebook Messenger to drop us a line. You can email us, news@ncwlife.com, or you can use our website at ncwlife.com and use the Contact Us icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. We're going to take a break, come back with sports, the obscure holiday today in history. Got some celebrity birthdays. In fact, we have a number of celebrity birthdays. Mike McNulty has got an opinion. He always does. Then my conversation with Stuart Utley. He's a physical therapist with Confluence Health. It's good stuff. Got a lot going on this Tuesday. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Hi there. It's Les Schwab Tires. Well, more like Les Schwab alignment and brakes and shocks and wheels and tires. Now, some tire places don't offer all that. They only sell tires. And we're not sure how they sleep at night, because all those services affect things like steering and stopping. That's why we offer more than tires to help keep you safe. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
And welcome welcome back to this Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. 20 minutes after the hour, sports. Wenatchee Valley College had a rare Monday doubleheader last night at the W.B. Smith Gymnasium on the campus. On the women's side, the Lady Knights erased a 6-point deficit at the end of the third quarter with a big 27-point fourth quarter, and they knock off Yakima Valley 74-68. Carrie Ann Kunkel again led Wenatchee Valley College with 21 points. Natalie Andreas kicked in 15. The Lady Knights improved to 13-6. With the win, they're 4-2 in conference play. Next up, a trip to Moses Lake Wednesday to take on Big Bend at 5:30. On the men's side last night, Wenatchee Valley used a 50-point second half to put away Yakima Valley 85-64. Malik Parsons pumping in 14 points. Isaac Jones provided the spark off the bench. He had 14. Chance Michaels and Abdullah each had 12. Wenatchee Valley improves to 16-3 on the season, 4-2 in conference play. They will tip it up at Big Bend Wednesday at 7:30. What's on tap for the prep schedule today? We'll start out with girls bowling. The season winding down. Wenatchee will host West Valley at Eastmont Lanes. They'll start rolling at 2 o'clock. A win over the Rams today would set up the battle for the regular season Big Nine Championship. Thursday, that will be between the Panthers and the Eisenhower Cadets down in Yakima, the gateway to Wapato. By the way, Eastmont is on the road today. They'll be at Davis with a 3:30 start at Minda Lanes. Everybody into the pool. The Wenatchee Panthers swim and dive team hosts West Valley at Wenatchee High today. That begins at 4 o'clock. Wenatchee leads the Big Nine. They're 4-0. Eastmont and Moses Lake right behind at 3-1. On the wrestling mats tonight, it's all about the Central Washington Athletic Conference. Ephrata has a non-league match at Royal at 6 o'clock. Quincy has a double duel with East Valley and Toppenish. That's in Toppenish, and that begins at 7. Girls basketball. Cashmere girls are undefeated. They'll try and keep that going. They'll be in Leavenworth to take on Cascade. Caribou Trail League game starts at 5:45. That's also the start time for Omak and Chelan. In North Central Washington, B League play tonight. Antioch will host Moses Lake Christian at 5:45. Bridgeport at Manson at 6. The boys' schedule is the same, just a little bit later on in the evening. Cashmere and Cascade at 7:15. Chelan and Omak at 7:15. The Mustangs and Trojans at 7:30 in beautiful Manson. And Antioch will host Moses Lake Christian at 7:30. As far as our broadcast schedule is concerned for the rest of the weekend into the weekend, looks something like this. Tonight we'll be re-airing the Wenatchee and Eastmont girls basketball game from the Town Toyota Center. Grant Olson and Eric Granstrom has your play-by-play tonight. That starts at 7. It's another doubleheader Thursday. We got a hockey night first at 7, featuring last Friday's game between the Wild and Cowichan Valley. Then at 9, Eric will have the call mat side at Eastmont High School. The Wildcats will host the Eisenhower Cadets in Big Nine Wrestling. If you missed the Eastmont Wenatchee boys game from the Town Toyota Center on January 10th, we'll re-air that on Friday at 7 o'clock. Eric and Grant again on the call. Then on Saturday, we will be courtside at Wenatchee High School. Grant will be there. The Panthers will host a girls-boys doubleheader against the Davis Pirates. Pre-game for the girls begins at 7:30. The boys gets underway at 5:30 for the girls, 7:30 for the boys. It'll be live Saturday at your home for local sports, and that's the NCW Live Channel. And finally, today's the day we find out who will be inducted into the class of 2020 into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Of course, last year at this time, the Mariner fans were waiting to see if Edgar would make it on his final chance. He did. This year, Yankee fans have no doubt that Derek Jeter will make it on his first ballot. He's a shoo-in. The rest is rather murky. Larry Walker, Kurt Schilling, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens are close, but they might not make it. For Larry Walker, this is his last chance. He can only be on 10 ballots. Once you're eligible, this is his 10th and final year. Also on the outside looking in, Scott Rowland, Omar Vizquel, Gary Sheffield. Of course, the Veterans Committee last month voted in Ted Simmons and Marvin Miller. Last year's class had 6 inductees. The 2020 class could be only 3. It could just be Derek Jeter and the aforementioned Ted Simmons and Marvin Miller, both well-deserving. And that's just some of the games that people are playing. At 24 minutes after the hour, I had a choice between 3 obscure holidays. Today is National Hugging Day. I like that. Today's National Granola Bar Day. Nothing wrong with that, but we're going to go with Squirrel Appreciation Day today. You gotta love squirrels. We honor squirrels. They make a contribution to the environment. And yes, of course, I have fun facts about squirrels. The front 4 teeth of the squirrel grows about 6 inches a year, so they constantly gnaw on something, so they don't look like freaks. So beavers do the same thing. They have to constantly chew to keep their teeth from growing out and making them kind of bizarre. A group of squirrels is called a scurry. Did you know that? I didn't know that. There are 265 different species of squirrels on this planet. There are 44 different types of flying squirrels. Wild squirrels will eat out of your hand if you're careful. and you're not skittish, they will eventually start nibbling out of your hand. Gray squirrels build nests. They're called drays, and they're way up high in the trees. And of course, we now have squirrels in the Wenatchee Valley. We didn't have squirrels when I was growing up. Somehow or another, they decided they liked it here. Happy Squirrel Appreciation Day today. Always on January 21st, because the internet told me so. Today in history, this was a really bad day back in 1793 for Louis XVI, the last king of France. He was found guilty by treason by the French National Convention. And on this date, back in 1793, 227 years ago, Louis XVI lost his head. And that was the end of royalty in France as we know it. He could have saved himself, he really could have, but unfortunately Louis XVI wasn't particularly bright. So there goes the end of Louis XVI. Happy birthday to the Kiwanis. Kiwanis International was founded on this date in the beautiful city of Detroit back in 1915, 105 years ago today. So we want to wish all of our friends who are members of the Kiwanis International a happy anniversary. There are about 600,000 members of Kiwanis chapters worldwide. So they're 105 years old today. This is the anniversary of Super Bowl, let's see here, that would be XIII. According to my Roman numerals, that would be Super Bowl 13, which was played on this date 41 years ago in Miami. It was the fifth and final Super Bowl held at the Orange Bowl. The Orange Bowl, of course, held a lot of the early Super Bowls. The Orange Bowl's been long gone now, but it simply wasn't aging particularly well. The Steelers beat the Cowboys 35-31. Very entertaining game. I remember watching it. It was the first Super Bowl that featured a rematch of a previous Super Bowl. Those two teams have played each other in Super Bowl 10, and they would play each other again in Super Bowl 13. It happened on this date in 1979, 41 years ago today. And finally, 39 years ago today, the late lamented DeLorean sports car went into production in Dunmurry in Northern Ireland. You remember the DeLorean? Most people associate the DeLorean with Back to the Future. Approximately 9,000 DeLoreans were manufactured before the company went under. There are still about 6,000 DeLoreans that still exist. That's pretty remarkable, considering that the DeLorean is nearly 40 years old, and they were definitely an eye-catching automobile, no question about that. Where do you go to fix one of those? You got me. 28 minutes after the hour, birthdays. A lot of birthdays. Two governors were born on this same date. Albert Rossellini was born on this date in 1910. He was the 15th governor of the state of Washington. He was elected in 1956, re-elected in 1960, and then lost when he ran for a third term in 1964. He lived to the age of 101, and that makes Al Rossellini the longest living governor in this country's history. And he was born in the state in 1910. Our 21st governor, Gary Locke, celebrates birthday number 70 today. He was elected in 1996, and he was re-elected again in 2000, served 8 years as the governor of this state. He is 70 years old today. I am an unabashed fan of Benny Hill. I don't care who knows it. I love Benny Hill. If I'm having a bad day, I just need to laugh out loud. I don't need to think. I just need to just be entertained. I always throw on a Benny Hill DVD. Alfred Hawthorne Hill was born in the state in 1924. Of course, the English actor and comedian died at the age of 68 in 1992. The Benny Hill Show was incredibly popular in this country in the late 70s and early 80s. Benny Hill, born in the state in 1924. I'm a former radio personality, and one of the biggest ones of all was Wolfman Jack, whose real name was Bob Smith. Changing his name to Wolfman Jack is probably a pretty good idea. He was born in the state in 1938, died of a heart attack in 1995 at the age of 57. His iconic role in American Graffiti made him an international star. We miss Wolfman Jack. Speaking of Jack, the Golden Bear, Jack Nicklaus, is 80 years old today. Still considered by many people the greatest golfer of all time. 18 major championships. But check out this amazing statistic. He won 18 major championships. He finished second 19 times. That's remarkable. He came that close to winning maybe 30 major championships. He finished third 9 times, and he finished in the top 10 in majors only 72 times. Happy birthday to the Golden Bear. He's 80 years old today. And we miss Paul Allen, the American businessman, philanthropist, former owner of the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, he died a couple of years ago. Paul Allen was born in this state in 1953, and way back in the 1970s, he and his friend Bill Gates started a little company in a garage in Albuquerque, New Mexico called Microsoft. Made him a multi-billionaire. Paul Allen, born in the state in 1953. 30 minutes after the hour, hey, Campbell's Resorts. It's still going on, the destination deal. Get out of town. Head up to Chelan. It's nice and quiet. The tourists are pretty much out of town. Boy, Chelan was hopping on Saturday, though, for Winterfest. And, of course, this weekend it's going to be held up in Manson. So my advice to you, get out of town and take advantage of the locals discount. If you're a local, if you live in the North Central Washington area, you can get a room at Campbell's beautiful resort. It's a luxury resort, and you can get a room starting at just $95 a night. Get up and get away from it all. Enjoy a nice winter getaway at beautiful Campbell's Resort in Lake Chelan. Enjoy some nice wine, some gourmet food, and a nice quiet time up at the lake. Give Campbell's a call again. If you're a local, you can get a room for just $95 a night. All right, Mike McKnighty's got an opinion coming your way. Then we'll take a break, and then we'll have my conversation with Stuart Utley, a physical therapist from Confluence Health. It's fall down and go boom season, but we don't want that to happen to you. We got some great tips from Stuart Utley coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Tuesday edition on the NCW Live channel.
Local breweries are on a row in Wenatchee. Brewers Row, that is. Start with Wenatchee Valley Brewing Company near Riverside 9 Apartments. Continue south down Riverside Drive to Columbia Valley Brewing. Then it's off to Badger Mountain Brewing on the corner of Orondo and Columbia Streets. Further south on Columbia is 509 Beer Works. Each has its own charm, unique menu, and some of the best locally made brew around. Find it all on Brewers Row along the waterfront in downtown Wenatchee.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service, and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?
Let Fitterers Furniture help you turn your dreams into reality with their exciting selection of quality furnishing and accessories. Whatever style you are looking for, you will find beautifully crafted furniture of exceptional value and the unmatched Fitterers customer service to make this shopping experience one you will keep coming back to. Make a point of visiting Fitterers Furniture in downtown Ellensburg.
Quality selection and service since 1896.
I'm Jake Carpenter, Vice President of Investor Relations for Equilus Group Incorporated and Equilus Capital Partners. We deliver solutions to challenges like how to use your retirement accounts to safely access income-producing real estate to avoid market risk, and how to defer capital gains tax without using a 1031 exchange. Discover your real estate and investment potential at Equilus. Call me today at 509-460-8700.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine-in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McKnighty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, retail businesses, if you're not doing too well, here's a tip. I believe the concept of retail is that a business wants people to come into said business and exchange their money that they have in their pockets for the merchandise the business has on its shelves. Okay, fine. But there's an important part. This exchange occurs at something called a checkout stand or a cash register. Now, this is the point, right? A customer takes your stuff and gives you money. Now, wouldn't it therefore make a whole lot of sense to actually have sufficient people, sufficient number of employees at this place where this exchange is supposed to take place so the potential transactions can actually occur? Doesn't that make sense? Don't you wish that these transactions could occur within a reasonable period of time? I mean, come on, in my limited perspective, that's what I think is a good idea. Now maybe consider it. Have people at your check stands. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Exercise gets everybody to be the best version of themselves they can be. And that's what I see us doing. And a lot of people see gyms as selling memberships. We see ourselves as helping our members become exercise practitioners so that their life is better, their day-to-day is better. That's what we do.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks, so bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We will do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Once a month, our friends from Confluence Health comes by and pays us a visit to talk about your ticker or your lungs or your elbows or your mental state of mind, whatever the case may be, with the particular experts in their field. And today we're talking about falling down and going boom. When you're 25, not that big of a deal. When you're 75, it's a big deal. We'll talk about that with Dr. Stuart Utley from Confluence Health. Listen to the studio audience. They love you, Doc.
Thank you.
They love you. They really do. Doc, introduce yourself to our television family, a little bit about yourself before we dive into the topic at hand.
My name is Stuart Utley. I am a native here in Wenatchee. I grew up here and went to Wenatchee High School, Panther.
Good for you. What class?
98.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A lot older than you.
Yeah, 98. And went off to school and became a physical therapist in 2012 and moved back to the area and been practicing ever since. I'm part of the Confluence Health system, and the clinic that I work at is the Miller Street Therapy Clinic.
Okay.
We're one of about 18 therapists with a variety of subspecialties. The things that I kind of focus on are acute back injuries. I work a lot with people with prosthetics, amputations, and I love shoulder rehab. It's one of my favorite patient populations.
Where did the calling come from as little Stuart Utley was growing up in little old Wenatchee town? When did it say, when I grow up, I want to be a physical therapist kind of guy?
So I went to Gonzaga University, and I graduated with a degree in public relations and minor in marketing, and I was in sales and doing marketing type aspects for about 5 years. During that time, I was actually a recruiter, a healthcare recruiter. And to make a very long story short, I kind of realized I was on the wrong side of the table. I liked physical therapy. I liked the medical field, and so I did a lot of research. And physical therapy actually has one of the best job satisfaction rates of any profession out there. And so I started to look into the degree, which is a doctorate degree, and went back to school in 2007 and graduated in 2012.
When people think physical therapy, they think, and I'm using a big paintbrush here, Doc, something happened to my body, that whatever happened has now been repaired, but now we have to work on fixing whatever the case may be. Is that too much of a generalization, or is there such a thing as being proactive in physical therapy before you get hurt?
Both. In fact, there are a few patients that I work with in the past that kind of do kind of a proactive thing. They feel there's something's coming on and they want to get checked out biomechanically. And it's a complex answer, but very simply put, there are people that we're trying to restore to function, and there are people we're trying to maintain function by avoiding issues. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that today.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Again, it's wintertime, sidewalks get icy. People don't actually plant that in their head that I might have a difficult time walking from my car to the mall or whatever the case may be. People fall down, and the older you are, Doc, and this happens, it can start something that ends not the way you want it to end, doesn't it? Especially amongst the advanced age, isn't it?
Yeah. In fact, about 1 in 4 people over the age of 65 are going to fall every year, which results in about 7 million-ish injuries. Nationally, 30 million falls, but 7 million-ish injuries that actually affect their life after that point. An extreme example would be a major head injury or breaking your hip, but even just breaking your wrist can affect some of the things that you do every day. And so my goal is to show you some things to try to avoid those falls.
And that's when I think of older people falling down, first thing I think of is wrist, shoulder, the things that you're going to physically land on with the weight of your body, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
And wrists are probably the biggest, because that's the first thing you're doing to break your fall, right?
Yeah, wrists are pretty common.
Yeah.
You put your arm down and you break the wrist. It's called a foosh type injury. Head injuries are pretty common as well. And because people who are over the age of 65, and we do lose a little bit of our ability to feel on our feet and our balance and stuff, you tend to fall more backwards and to the side. And so you tend to fall a lot on the hip and the back. So we'll hear a lot of people who will land on their butt and sometimes break a hip or really tweak their back or have a kind of a whiplash injury as they fall backwards.
So how can you tell, you're just sitting at home watching Dan on television, say, well, maybe I am at risk for falling. Is there some simple things you can do to test your ability to balance and things like that?
Totally. So to point out one thing is the reason you will fall is kind of a small view. It's very complex. There's lots of things that can happen in a person's lives, including the presence of diabetes, a history of a head injury, changes in medications that can all contribute to falls, in addition to just like icy conditions. But an easy thing that you can do to test your strength is the ability to stand on one leg. Okay. There is some strong-ish research to show that if you can stand on your leg for at least 10 seconds, the odds of you having a fall will statistically significantly decrease. Okay. The other way to say that is if you can't stand on one leg, there's a pretty high odds that you're going to have a fall, especially if something unexpected happens in your life.
People want to stay at home. They don't want to move. They like home. This is where this is my home. I've been living here for 50 years. But the home might not be good for you anymore from that standpoint. There's some things you can do just around your house to help with your balance, right? I mean, handrails here and there, maybe get rid of the shag carpet, stuff like that?
Absolutely. So the easiest, the low-hanging fruit that you talk to patients when you're trying to reduce is if it is recommended that you should use some sort of assisted device, which could be a cane or a walker, they recommend that you do that. A lot of people have a lot of pride with that, and I'm going to be guilty of that one day if it's ever recommended. I'm hoping I can avoid that. But that can really decrease the chance for falls. Also, taking away carpets, making sure that you have adequate lighting, which means putting in night lights at night, making sure that you have your assistive device by your bed when you go to bed. So when you wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, it'll help you go to the bathroom safely. Those are easy things to do. And then outside the house, making sure you have railings not just on one side, but on both sides. Making sure that you put ice, de-icing salt down on the driveway or something along those lines when you're getting in and out of your car to reduce your chance for falling, as well as paying attention to where irregularities in the concrete are, because a lot of people will talk about how they were carrying something and they'll catch their toe, and that's how they go down. 'Cause they weren't
Let's
paying
talk
attention
about
to
the feet. When people fall down, they're either going to slip and fall, or they lose their balance in their fall. So your feet are the key. They're the foundation of the rest of the body.
Yes.
What about footwear? I know it sounds silly, but what about footwear?
So a lot of people don't want to, even if you're under the age of 65, you're 40 or 50, if you're wearing, say, high heels, or you're wearing dress shoes and it's really icy conditions, even though the odds of you having a life-altering fall does decrease at that age, you should still consider putting on nice footwear when it's icy out there, because that makes a huge difference in how you can traction. Walking like a penguin. Have you heard about walking like a penguin before?
If we weren't in a tiny little studio, we demonstrate it, but give us a general idea.
Simply put, penguins walk with their feet slightly turned out. They kind of waddle back and forth, and their feet really never leave the ground. And so when you're in icy conditions, if you walk with short steps, you kind of stay over the middle of your feet, have your feet a little bit wider, and you kind of shuffle when you walk. The odds of you falling are going to go down significantly.
Yeah.
Another time that you want to pay attention to that is getting out of a car. Like if you're in a parking lot and you're doing a great job at home, you got the ice down, but you get in the parking lot and they have an ice there, make sure you swing your legs out, both legs out first, plant your feet, stand up, check the ground before you start to walk, because a common thing that we hear in therapy is people step out with one foot, they slip, and then they go down.
That makes absolutely perfect sense. Absolutely perfect sense. You mentioned the stand on one leg for 10 seconds. If you can pull that off, you got pretty good balance. Anything else you can be proactive about at home? Just basic exercise to like your core body or your thighs or anything like that you can do to be proactive on that.
Absolutely. Another test that you can do is the ability to stand up from a chair and sit back down 5 times at least with no hands.
Okay.
If you can do that, that means you've got adequate quad and glute control. And those are 2 major muscle groups in order to prevent a fall. If you were to lose your balance, you can kind of compensate or readjust. And so if you don't have the ability to get out of a chair with no hands, that's something you should work on.
Are people generally pretty good about this? I mean, you've been in this line of work that you mentioned for how long now, Doc?
8 years.
8 years. Have you seen over your 8 years? Are you seeing less and less patients? Are people, as the baby boom generation gets older, or are you seeing more patients?
More. Because the baby boom generation is getting older. The average patient I probably see is 45 to 50. So I'll see a lot of weekend warriors, but also see people in their 70s and 80s, and a few in their 90s. And it really is human nature. I mean, when you are feeling good, you do things that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And when you're not feeling good, you focus on the things that help you get back to feeling good. And that's the whole point behind physical therapy, is showing you some things that are going to help you strength-wise or mobility-wise to get back to the things you want.
And it's funny you bring that up, because I haven't been skiing in, 12 years, and then all of a sudden I went skiing one day, and the next day I could barely get out of bed, because you don't know that at the time. You're having just such a great time, and then my thighs decided to take the day off, and the rest of my body didn't want to do that. SAIL is an acronym for
Stay Active and Independent for Life.
Yes, and I have a couple of friends who actually teach SAIL classes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, my good friend Erin Cass does this, and she really enjoys it. I've seen people do SAIL classes. It's a cool thing.
Yes.
Yeah, to give people, it's a basic exercise kind of a thing.
Yes.
Gets the body moving, gets the blood pumping, makes you feel good.
Yes, absolutely. And what's cool about SAIL is you can do it at any level of fitness. They have wonderful modifications, and they're very easy to understand. For example, if you're wheelchair bound, you can still do a lot of the things with weight shifts and using your arms. Or if you're much higher level, they show you some ways to really work on your single leg stance or work on hip mobility and flexibility. And the best part about SAIL is it's free. Okay, there is 17, at last I counted, I think I counted them about a week ago, according to the website, which is done through the Wellness Place, and I gave you the website, I believe, in my notes. There were 17 different locations that were provided across Chelan, Douglas County, which included places in Eniat and East Wenatchee and Quincy and so on and so forth. And in order to be able to participate in a SAIL class, you need to have a doctor's note that says you're clear, medically clear, which is fairly easy to do. Just ask your PCP to do that. And then they usually have them about 2 to 3 times a week. And the people that we have found that help or benefit from the SAIL class, when they go twice a week, not only does it help them with their overall function, they do feel stronger, they have the ability to walk a little bit better, but there's a really good social aspect about it as well.
Very much so. We sat in with the class with the Honorable Karen Wardell was teaching a few months ago. We went and sat in and watched Carol do her thing and watched the people exercise and enjoy it. And they had a great time. They played this upbeat music, and everybody's having fun.
Yeah.
They're having a really good time.
So
really
cool.
Good time.
And to piggyback off that idea, something that's really important that I think the viewers need to understand is, in order for us to show change with exercise to reduce balance, there's kind of a minimum threshold of exercise that you have to do in a frequency and over a period of time. And they have found that threshold is about 50 hours of training on balance-specific activities. So standing on one leg and getting up out of a chair and some of the sail class activities over the course of three months. So if you kind of average that down, that's about 2 hours per week over the course of 3 months, and then they can statistically measure how much better your balance is, which is exactly what the sail class provides for you.
Because the bottom line is you want to be as bored as you possibly can, right, Doc? Yeah. In the short time we have left, again, we're talking to Stuart Utley from Confluence Health. Give me a success story from your world of physical therapy.
Wow.
Somebody who came in and got hurt themselves, and now they're just back and life is great, and because they went and got to see you and do a little PT, and they're feeling good. Give me a success story. I'm sure you have more than one.
Oh, I've got so many. It just depends on what we're looking at. I think one of the more powerful ones that I've ever had was a gentleman who was in the middle age, who had a very unfortunate accident, which resulted in an amputation of one of his legs. And when I first met him, and this was in collaboration with a couple other providers, that we have a clinic where we kind of treat these amputees in kind of a holistic approach to understand the different facets, because it's not just the biomechanics, it's not just the medications, it's psychological as well. He was unable to look you in the eye because of the PTSD, and he was unable to transfer out of a chair because he was just so deconditioned and so depressed. And to see him a year later, after a lot of hard work, he's now holding a full-time job. He is living on his own. He can walk for 10, 15, 20 minutes without feeling fatigue. It's one of the more powerful cases I've ever seen of where physical therapy and exercise in general can get someone.
What has changed in the world? Last question for you, Doc. I know you got to go. What's changed in the world of physical therapy since you became a professional?
Wow. A big thing I think that we are pushing towards is not only doing evidence-based practice, which basically means does the research back up why we're doing things, but we're also trying to get a lot of buy-in and really heavily focusing on education for the patient. So if you go to therapy and you're just doing exercise, but you don't understand why you're doing the exercise, you're less likely to do it at home. But if there's a big, heavy educational component to the treatment plan, the odds of you not only doing the exercise in the short term to feel better and get back to what you want to, but in the long term to either prevent your injury or recover from a future injury is much, much, much higher. I think that the profession for a while, especially 30 years ago, was kind of anecdotal, meaning just this feels good. I think this is going to work, and we're really driving towards educating the patient, empowering the patient, and what does the evidence show?
And common sense. Common sense is a huge thing. It's good to see you, Doc.
Yeah,
anytime you want to come by and pay me a visit.
Okay.
Hopefully, I won't be seeing you professionally.
I hope not.
Anytime.
Stay out of there.
I'm trying to leave my physical thing to golf now. I'll just leave it at golf. Although 10 years ago, I fell down to the golf course and broke my arm. True story. Good to see you, Dr. Utley.
You too.
Good. Our friends from Confluence Health with their monthly visit. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Club Crow is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow Saturday nights. We have live bands to rock the night away. Club Crow is bringing comedy to Cashmere. Check out our Facebook page for upcoming dates. Live jam session first Sunday of every month. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
For plumbing, heating, or cooling repair, Patriot will be right there.
We know they exist, those who love cold water.
Yeah, no thanks.
Fortunately, there is plenty of hot water for the rest of us from Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Ask the pros at Patriot which Rheem water heater is right for your home.
Patriot Plumbing, heating and cooling, will give your home a hug.
Well, as you can see by the camera we had during the transition, our cross camera, the snow is sticking to the camera lens. Just a little bit. It is snowing outside of our studios. We've now gone up to 32 degrees, although the snow is sticking in on the area roadways. As I mentioned before at the top of the show, it is supposed to switch over to rain a little bit later on today because we're going to be quite a bit above freezing. As far as the snow total for the Wenatchee Valley, not much. The Cascades, once again, are going to get a lot of snow. It's snowing right now at a pretty good clip on the major mountain passes. They have a winter weather advisory for the Cascades. For us, not so much. Again, it is snowing right now. It is going to have, in fact, all week long, we're going to have widespread precipitation. Most of it's going to be in the form of rain. This snow event is going to switch over to rain a little bit later on, but not the case for the mountain passes. Those are your snow totals. And the National Weather Service just updated their forecast, and they really haven't changed their mind. They still think that the snow is going to switch over to rain by the time we get to about noon or so. In fact, from the National Weather Service, let's go ahead and take a look at that forecast. One more time. Yeah, precipitation, no doubt about it. So we're looking at rain, we're looking at snow, and then it's going to be a rain-snow mix, and then just plain rain later on this afternoon. The snow level right now is at 1,600 feet. It's going to go to 2,400 feet, and we'll top off at about 36 degrees a little bit later on. A rain-snow mix possible tonight, but the chance of that is only about 30%. The snow level is going to lower down, but the storm system that's bringing us this current snow switching over to rain isn't really packing a great deal of punch. We only got about a 30% chance of precipitation tonight, so don't expect any snow accumulation. Tomorrow, just plain rain, and most of it in the afternoons. It's going to be just cloudy and dry most of the day on Wednesday. Then another weak system comes in late Wednesday afternoon into the early evening hours. The snow level will be at 2,200 feet, so we're looking at rain for the Wenatchee Valley. Most of it on Wednesday night. We'll top off at 36 degrees tomorrow. And then we could switch over to a little bit of rain-snow mix on Wednesday night into early Thursday. Again, if we get any snow at all, we're talking about less than half an inch of snow Wednesday night into early Thursday. And then look at our high on Thursday, 40 degrees with a good chance of rain. Thursday night, overnight low 36 degrees with a good chance of rain. Friday, good chance of rain, lots of clouds. High will be about 45, cloudy, good chance of rain on Saturday. The one thing you do notice, graphically speaking, we don't have any sunshine at all in the forecast. So once again, to recap, it is snowing right now. It should switch over to a rain-snow mix noonish or so, and then by the time we get to late afternoon on your afternoon commute, it should be just plain rain, and we'll top off in the upper in the mid 30s, and then we're looking at an overnight low of about 30 degrees tonight. A little bit of light snow, and then whatever we get precipitation-wise for the rest of the week, Wednesday night into Thursday, is all going to be in the form of rain. That is not the case in the mountain passes. When we have rain down here, they usually mean snow up there. That's a live shot of I-90, and they do have a traction tire advisory. It is snowing, as you can see on Snoqualmie Pass. You got snow and slush on the roadway, and they have a traction tire advisory on Snoqualmie Pass. Traction tires are still advised at this hour on Stevens Pass. There's a live shot there. Looks like the skiers and snowboarders are up for another fun day. It's actually warmer at the summit of Stevens Pass than it is here. It's 33 degrees up there, but it is snowing. You got snow on the roadway, and they have a traction tire advisory. And just like Stevens, Blue Pass is also warmer than we are. It's 34 at the summit of Blewett Pass. It is snowing. You got compact snow on the roadway, and traction tires are advised on Blewett Pass. And it's going to snow most of the day today. They have a winter weather advisory in the Cascades. Goes until 4 o'clock tomorrow. Snow totals in the mountains today, 3 to 5 inches today. an additional 4 to 8 inches of snow, 4 to 8 tonight, on top of the 3 to 5 they're expecting today, then an additional 3 to 7 inches on Wednesday, and an additional 3 to 7 inches on Wednesday night. And then on Thursday and Thursday night in the Cascades, they're expecting rain, not snow. As we mentioned before, it's going to be very mild by the back half of this week. That's just about a wrap. Our guest tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we have a brand new program. It's called In Focus. Our special news correspondent Steve Hare hosts that show, and his interview with Sheriff Brian Burnett of Chelan County will air on this program tomorrow. We look forward to it. Everybody go out, have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.